This is Scoot from the Cleveland Sports Fan Network, here to tell you about our new lineup for the rest of 2021 and beyond. We still have your favorites like Oshimida and the Fan on Mondays, our flagship show, the Cleveland Sports Fan, on Tuesdays. Wednesday has the Burley Gunner Show. Thursday is the Four Chubs, a roundtable show hosted by Burley Gunner. And on Friday, Pit Road News, a NASCAR, F1, and IndyCar talk show hosted by Scoot, the Cleveland sports fan himself. New episodes every day at 6 a.m. Eastern. Visit us at redcircle.com/Cleveland-sport-fan. Hey, this is Scott.
And Burke.
From the Davis and Davis Show, the podcast for everything Ohio. Two guys who met at the University of Akron and have a love for Northern Ohio.
We talk about everything from entertainment to motorsports to fine wine and spirits.
Do you want to get a little insight on Northern Ohio from the perspective of two middle-aged men? Well, as we say, grab a beer, a glass of wine, sit down, relax, and listen.
New shows every Thursday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern. Just go to www.redcircle.com/Davis and Davis.
Or find us on Apple Podcast, Prime Podcast, Google Podcast. Check out our Facebook page at Davis and Davis. We're not a real law firm.
And we just don't care.
Welcome to the law firm of Davis and Davis. We're not a real law firm.
Go ahead, grab a beer, a glass of wine, sit back and listen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are up to Burke's number 5, which is also one of my favorites.
This is, oh yeah, and I still love watching this show. This is Space 1999. This is a Jerry Anderson production. Now, there was a little bit of controversy at some point in time where the actual moon base model looked a whole hell of a lot like the moon base from 2001: A Space Odyssey, and there was some legal battles because of that. But yeah, in an odd show because like there was only 2 seasons of it, and the first season was, oh God, how do you explain it? It was a lot of exposition and not a ton of action per se. Maybe a little more cerebral. I don't know. And you almost felt like the composer was doing more of like classical music kind of composers behind it. But man, well, you're looking at the picture of the Eagle, the spaceship that they used. What a great representation of what I don't know, what would you call it? The Jeep of outer space. It's all function and no design. It's just it that looks like a working workhorse, like a tugboat almost of outer space.
Here's what cracks me up about this. This is probably the best design of a spacecraft that could ever be made. And the funny thing about this is that people on the internet have taken this photo and are using it, saying that this is the next NASA spacecraft to be made.
They could do worse. They honestly could do worse.
It cracks me up. But I will honestly say, Elon Musk, if you are listening, you need to make this thing.
You need to make a working version of this bad boy. Just fly it once. That's all we're asking. Just one time.
I don't care if it only makes it to space once.
Yeah.
But I want to see this thing work.
And you had some great actors on that show. You had Martin Landau, Barbara Bain, who I believe were married at the time.
Holy crap, though. Yeah, look at the damn eagle.
I know.
I had the freaking model of this.
Oh, I
mother
built that freaking thing from scratch. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh, it was my favorite spacecraft ever designed.
Yeah.
And the thing is that looking at it, it looks like it deserves to be in space.
Yeah, it's all utilitarian. Yeah, absolutely. If you were gonna have a work boat, kind of, that's what you would build. It was great. Like the center section could detach, and it was just kind of like the armature between the head and the it was a great design.
Brilliant.
And forgive me because I do not remember. There's a mess of people from that worked on Star Wars and Star Trek and everything that did a lot of design work and special effect for this show too.
Yes, almost 3/4 of the people that worked on the design of this ended up working at Skywalker Ranch.
Yeah, ILM and all the what other trivia do I have about that show? Well, now and then season 2 took a wildly different turn. Like the main control center got downsized quite a bit. And they went for a lot more action and everything like that. But a lot of really good actors. I believe Plummer was on an episode.
Yes.
Brian Blessed was on an episode. Who plays fucking Sauron in Lord of the Rings? He was on an episode. But anyway, a lot of big name actors did an episode of this show. It was just good fun. Now, Jerry Anderson, we're going to set the way back machine here. Jerry Anderson also did the show The Thunderbirds. Do you remember that show?
Yes.
Which was the direct inspiration for Team America. So Jerry Anderson's doing this marionette show with all these vehicles and then Team America came. So Space 1999 is kind of like the great uncle of Team America, if you want to put that in a weird perspective.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That is all the trivia that comes off the top of my head. Otherwise, and really beautiful look. I mean, they took a lot. They honestly did take a lot of like the look and feel of it from 2001, which is not a bad thing. 2001 was a phenomenal film. A little slow.
It was. The thing about Space 1999 is that a lot of what was happening in that was realistic.
Yeah.
It was something that could happen.
Nuclear waste being just put on the moon because you couldn't have it on Earth. And it was September 13th. Yeah, September 13th, 1999. It was a Friday the 13th, which is actually Barbara Bain's birthday, if I recall.
Which I 100% agree with taking all of our nuclear waste and shooting it at the sun.
The sun would be okay. I mean, we would have some hellacious magnetic storms and cell phones wouldn't work for a while, but it'd be out of our hair.
It'd be over, guys.
Yeah.
All right, we're going on to our next. Scott's number 5.
Nice. Good pick.
Comes from the Jim Henson Studios, and it is Fraggle Rock. This was a show that was actually produced by HBO. It was the first show. First series show produced by HBO.
It wasn't on HBO, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Really? Initially?
Yes, they were the ones that started.
Wow. I did not know that. I mean, I remember watching it on regular TV.
Here, when HBO Home Box Office first started, it was purely a movie channel. This was the channel's first original series.
Wow.
In 1989, this became the first U.S. TV series to be broadcast in the Soviet Union.
That's some fucking trivia there, pal. Kudos.
Just hang on. Here is where it comes. After ceasing production on The Muppet Show, Jim Henson asked writers Jerry Jewell and Jocelyn Stevens and conceptual designer Michael Frith to create a show for kids that will save the world. He gave them access to his house in London to develop what became Fraggle Rock. Now, before we go any further, I was such a fan that in high school, it would be high school, I made a doozer.
Doozer. I was thinking Douglas. Yeah, doozers. That's right.
I am actually showing Burke right now a picture of the doozer that sits in my mom's house.
Art class clay.
Clay. It's big. It's like 6 inches tall. This thing is huge. And my art teacher kept going, "You better hollow that out or it's going to crack up." And I was like, okay, I got to hollow this out. It was actually a cool project because I had to make 2 projects in one. The helmet and the head are 2 different things, but I made a doozer. And I actually had my mother get up off of her couch after she hasn't gotten up for like 32 years. And go out and take a picture and send it to you. Go out into the kitchen and take a picture of my doozer.
Does she have any clue what it is?
She kind of has a clue, but every time I come home, she looks at me and says, "Do you want to take your doozer with you?" I'm like, funny. Mom, you need to keep that because that's a piece of art.
Art's definitely in the eye of the beholder there. He's a little lopsided. Yeah.
Great colors, though. Great colors. All right. We're moving on to Burke's number 4.
Oh, God, yes. Cheers.
Cheers.
Where everybody knows your name.
I couldn't pick this show, but I wanted to pick this show. Just because of the cast that was on it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is the most incredible cast that you will ever see. Norm, who just died not too long ago, was the most popular man in America during the second year of the season. He was voted the most popular man.
I hate it when your trivia is better than mine.
All right.
But anyway, yeah, like Fraser and Lilith's son, his first words were Norm. Norm walks into the bar and the baby goes, "Norm!" I love the fact that when Coach passed away in real life, and he was a producer and a director primarily, but they loved him on the show. I love the fact that they wrote it into the show that he passed away, and that they wrote in. And Woody Harrelson's character is hilarious because they made the character first and named him Woody, and Woody Harrelson came and auditioned for it, and he really had no idea what the hell he was auditioning for, but they loved him anyway, so they put him on there. Thank goodness. Rhea Perlman, her sister is also a director and producer, if I'm not mistaken. You'll see the name Perlman on a bunch of shows as directors and producers. Katzenberg, yeah.
I think wasn't she married to Danny DeVito?
She may still be. I think they were together forever.
Yeah.
And he would show up on the show on the set and watch them do stuff. And she would show up in his, but he never showed up on a single episode of Cheers ever.
I have a question here.
Yes.
That was the worst circling job that I've ever done. Let me try that again.
Talking about
Coach.
Yes.
Coach. Ended up dying in the middle of the season.
Season
Was it
three?
the fourth season? It was
3 or
4. Which was when Woody Harrelson was brought in. Or was Woody... here's the question I have. Was Woody brought in before that or after?
No, he was brought in after. The actor passed away. They actually wrote in Cheers that Coach had passed away. And they ran auditions for a replacement. And they named the character Woody before they ever auditioned anybody. And it's just dumb luck that Woody Harrelson auditioned and got the part of Woody playing Woody.
And he was phenomenal. He was
God, yes.
incredible. Now, I have to highlight one more person now. If I can get my
mouse to work.
There it goes. Let's go with this color today. Let's not... I'm circling the wrong person. Dude, this is when you get drunk people that...
Don't feel so bad about the Gene Wilder bit. Katzenberger.
He actually has a show on PBS.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's still going on, but it's kind of like One Tank Trips, where he takes trips around the U.S. doing shows about things that
probably trivia.
Not just trivia, but he goes to places that are patriotic, that are about kind of being an American.
And he also is in, I think he's got a voice bit in every Studio Ghibli cartoon that's out there.
I think so.
Or no, it's not even that. He's in, what's the other big cartoon studio? I mean, obviously he's also in Toy Story and everything like that, but he's got a voice. He does like a voice bit in every Pixar movie, I believe. He shows up. Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, and he auditioned for Norm originally.
Yes,
and didn't get the part.
But the mailman, he was the best.
They were going to make him a cop originally, and they're like, no, that's not going to work. And so when they figured out mailman, the know-it-all. Yeah, it was just a perfect fit for him. And he got to ad-lib a ton of those stupid trivia things that he came up with. So a lot of the people on the set are just like, they have no clue what's going to come out of his mouth next, which is awesome.
Okay, I do have one more piece of trivia here.
Please.
This is what made Cheers as fabulous as it was. Every director that came in let the actors ad-lib. Norm's responses were normally not written into a script. It was fabulous.
Okay, so now to my actual written trivia. There was no actual laugh track. And people used to write into the show complaining that the laugh track was too loud. That was the actual audience. And that's why at the beginning of the show, there was always one of the cast members that would say this was filmed before a live studio audience to let people know this is not a laugh track. These are real people actually laughing at the stuff because it's that good. And then
You do realize that this is the first show that started this is recorded in a live studio audience. No other show before this did it.
Interesting. And then every main character that was on that show was nominated for an Emmy. Every single so everyone on that screen there was nominated for an Emmy, and five or six of them actually won the Emmys. And at one point, one of them actually said, "I don't want any more because I want other people to win." So yeah, it was great writing and great jokes and great bits. Yeah, we could do a whole show about Cheers if we wanted to. So that's it for Cheers.
All right, going on to Scott's number 4.
Wow. Okay, here's where we diverge greatly, because I have never seen a single episode of that show.
This, my number 4, stars John Forsythe, and it is Dynasty. I actually have no trivia written for this.
Then I'm okay with that.
Don't. I mean,
wait, who are all those women? Is that
we have Linda Evans, we have Heather Locklear.
Yeah, I was gonna say that looks like Heather in the background. That looks like who's the brunette to the right of her?
Oh,
it looks like the girl from The Mummy, but I don't think she was acting at that point in time.
Okay, now you're gonna make me look this shit up. Okay. So apparently I skipped one. Let me go to IMDb.
We will pause here. Elizabeth Gillis?
I don't think that...
Gillies? No, that cannot be. That's the New Dynasty. No, we don't want that. Here we go. Linda Evans, Joan Collins, Gordon Thompson, John James, Michael Nader, Heather Locklear, Pamela Bellwood, Pamela Sue Martin. That's
yes.
Assigned Adventure.
Okay.
That's where I know her from. Okay. Lady in Red, Nancy Drew. Okay, fair enough. She showed up on that 70s show at one point. Okay.
All right, so here's a little bit of trivia for you.
Okay.
Joan Collins and John Forsythe did not get along. Go figure. Ironically, she got along fine with Linda Evans. Heather Locklear was a regular in season 2 and left towards the end of season 3 to join TJ Hooker.
That's right. I forgot about that.
John Forsythe is the only actor to appear in all 220 episodes. Let me ask you a question. Mr. Carrington, what plane did he fly on?
Is it a Lockheed? No. Private jet. Oh God, was it a Lockheed? I don't know. What was it?
From the outside photos that were used in the show, it was a Lear 50.
Okay.
From the inside photos, it was an Airbus 380.
Oh Jesus.
Essentially, all of the interior photo. Okay, anyone that knows anything about a Lear 50 knows that you can barely stand up in it.
It's like the size. It's about the interior of a modern day minivan.
Yet, every time they showed the interior of the plane, it was the size of a 747.
The TARDIS, that's what it was. It's bigger on the inside.
Wow. Linda Evans is still one of my favorites. I love that woman to death. I think she's still gorgeous now, even at the age that she's at.
We don't ask women's ages, so we will just leave it at that.
We don't. So we're going on to Burke's number 3. I'm telling you, we're going to have to start moving quickly here because I'm starting to get a little hippie.
Aw, poor baby.
Burke's number 3 is The Muppet Show.
And you got to admit, man, that was like when it was on, like I was sitting in front of the TV. It's like I was watching every brand new episode that came out all the time. And dear Lord, I mean, it was kind of sad because that first season, it didn't get a lot of traction initially, and guest stars were not really big on coming on. So Jim and anybody that was in the crew and anything would ask their friends, and like Vincent Price was a friend of Jim Henson. He's like, "Yo, do me a favor, come on the show." And what a great show it turned out to be. And they had so many people in there. They had a whole Star Wars episode that was awesome.
Okay, the two old guys up in the balcony.
Statler and Waldorf, named after hotels, and even Statler's wife Astoria, named after a hotel.
That was me. I can't think of another Muppet that I would have been.
Gonzo, perhaps.
God, you think so highly of me.
And apparently, the Swedish Chef was one of the only Muppets with human hands because he needed to actually grab onto utensils and do things. And it was one of the few Muppets on the show, or one of the few bits, where if you heard laughter, it was the crew. The entire crew could not laugh when they were filming the Swedish Chef. And there was some guy who did a cooking show, and he was Swedish, and he mumbled, and that was kind of the basis of that whole bit. But yeah, you'll be interested to know the one-eyed cat that hangs out backstage, who's just kind of laying around everything. His name was Gaffer, the backstage cat.
Gotta love that Gaffer.
Gaffer, yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
That just appeals to us, absolutely. And the inspiration for Miss Piggy was actually Loretta Swit from the movie MASH, which we referenced earlier in the show. So, but oh god, yeah, I could talk about it. And then the whole band, Dr. John and Animal. Animal was modeled after Keith Moon of the Who. And Dr.
You gotta love Animal.
Oh god, yeah. Have you seen the Dave Grohl and Animal bit on YouTube?
Oh yes.
Oh god, that is priceless.
All over that.
Oh shit. And Dr. Teeth was modeled after Dr. John and then somebody else.
Okay,
There's just so many references in that show. It's just
Fozzie the Bear was incredibly awesome, but it was the monster that I loved the best.
What, the big one?
The big, huge one. I mean,
not even sure if he had a name or not.
The fucking hilarious thing about that is that the only times that they showed him was by himself because he couldn't be around the other characters. He was so big.
So big, yeah.
I was like, oh, I love that boy.
God, there's so many people on the show. Liza Minnelli, Harry Belafonte, and oh, geez.
This is what made Jim Henson what Jim Henson was. I mean, the Muppet Show came out. There were so many offshoots from the Muppet Show, like the Muppet Show Christmas, and there was just so much crap that came out of this.
And nobody, there was never a guest that showed up more than once, although John Denver did show up in a Muppet Christmas special and then one other time because John Denver was a great addition to that show.
Jim Henson was one of the most brilliant men that ever happened to the entertainment or to the puppetry industry.
Oh yeah.
Sesame Street, Muppet Show, Fraggle Rock, Dark Crystal. He really kind of honed that art. And sadly, we haven't seen it since.
Yeah, he was kind of one of a kind dude. I'm going to go through a quick list of people that appeared on the show here, according to IMDb.
Sure.
Rita Moreno, Valerie Harper, Candace Bergman, Peter Ustinov, Joel Grey, Paul Williams, Ben Vereen, Harvey Korman, Phyllis Diller, Florence Henderson, Sandy Duncan, Ruth Buzzy, Jim Neighbors, Lena Horne, Twiggy, Avery Schreiber, Ben Forsyth, Steve Martin, Bernadette Peters, Julie Andrews, John Cleese, Vincent Price, Nancy Walker, Dom DeLuise. Jesus Christ, this goes on and on and on. Rich Little, Edgar Bergen, Lou Rawls, Cloris Leachman, God rest her soul, Raquel Welch, Cheryl Ladd, Peter Sellers, Chris Christopherson, Danny Kaye, Gene Stapleton, Elton John, Gilda Radner. Good Lord. Yeah, I'm not going to do the whole list. It goes on forever. Good stuff, man.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have a chance to pick that thing up and watch it, it's always good stuff.
Just sit down and watch.
Yes.
Okay, we're moving on.
Scott's number 3 pick. I will allow that. That's Now, is it horrible to say I like the film?
Film's good.
Okay. Okay.
I did not realize how bad this show was until I went back and watched it again.
I mean, it was definitely like if you were a teen or preteen. I mean, that was just that was like eating cookies. That was kind of like, it was fast food of shows, Oh yeah, okay. Oh, you're gonna tell everyone out there what the show is?
The show is the A-Team.
There you go.
And here's the problem. Here's the problem that I had. I wanted to put Buck Rogers here.
Oh, yeah. I watched the dog shit out of that show.
But I couldn't find a good picture of Buck Rogers.
This is how you choose your The only people looking at the pictures are you and me.
Mr. T's gold weighed 35 to 40 pounds.
Oh my God.
According to Dirk Benedict, Dirk Benedict actually is going to come up again in one of my lists. But according to Dirk Benedict, George Papard refused to talk to Mr. T and would use Benedict as a messenger between them.
Oh, Jesus.
Papard would only refer to Mr. T as the man with the gold.
And in that, those 4 guys right there, 50% of them showed up on some of our favorite other TV shows. You got Dirk Benedict showing up on Battlestar Galactica, and then I can't remember his name, but he showed up in Star Trek: The Next Generation, and he was only supposed to be a one-time character.
Burke.
Yes.
Battlestar Galactica has not come up in any of our lists yet.
Oh, it will be eventually. So, but anyway, and please, do you remember the actor's name, the other guy there by chance, or no?
Which one?
The guy in the back.
McCormick.
No, that's not.
No, I don't remember.
There we go. Hold on.
Wait,
Bard, blah blah blah. The
his
fourth
character
guy,
his character was McCormick, though.
Dwight Schultz.
Yes.
So he showed up. He was only supposed to be on one episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. He played such a neurotic character
He was awesome.
that they loved him and brought him back, I believe, probably 8 or 9 times in other episodes. Yeah, as Barclay. And yeah, he was great. I love that. I love that guy. Oh God, Carl Franklin was on that couple episodes.
This
Nice.
was a Stephen Cannell production, and according to Stephen Cannell, the writers had a running gag in the show, which almost every episode included a horrific car crash, but the people would never be hurt. They did it to test the limits of realism.
And if you want to do a little deep dive on Stephen Cannell, Rockford Files, Greatest American Hero, Wise Guy, Castle, yeah, just a bunch of Chips 99.
Yeah.
Oh my. Okay.
Oh,
Silk
he's still
Stockings. Christ,
Yeah.
do you remember Silk Stockings?
he was still producing up until about 5 years ago.
Oh wow.
All right, we're gonna take a little break here. We're gonna come back mainly because my bladder will not last any longer. All right, so
We're back.
So we just went through the fact that Scott's out of alcohol and he's drinking
Tanqueray's gin and tonic in a can. So sipping on gin and juice.
Hold on,
Laid
two of
back.
them. Two of them.
You have 2 of them? Wow.
I have two. Of
Well,
them.
your Yeti holds a lot, so.
I still have some of this other. I wonder if I should mix both these. Oh, fuck it. Dude, I will tell you in a second if I hate gin and juice.
You kind of got to be in the mood for it, but yeah.
Well, apparently I'm going for 2, so.
Ready or not, here you go.
Ready or not, here I come. Throw that on the floor.
And survey says,
Ooh.
Not too
buy
shabby.
that shit in the can, man.
Really?
Do
Do they have lime in it or not?
Yeah, it's got lime.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's the secret ingredient in any gin and tonic right there.
Let's see here. What's the alcohol content on this? It does not say.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah, it
probably
does.
pretty low.
Alcohol by volume is 6%. So it's not much.
It's a heavy beer.
It is literally gin and tonic with lime.
Nice.
And I will tell you what, this is a very refreshing drink.
Are you drinking the gin?
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble now. Hang on. What?
No, I'm just asking a question.
Here, try this.
Why is it on the floor?
Would you just try it?
Not a big fan, apparently.
How was that?
It was alcohol-y.
So it was alcohol-y.
I don't know, it's just gin and tonic.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a gin and tonic with some lime.
Well, gin and juice is technically like a grapefruit combination, but yeah. Which gin and grapefruit is one of my favorites.
I don't get women. I don't.
You're like dying over it, which you don't even like gin and tonic.
I don't like 'em.
And so I'm supposed. I'm sorry. Am I supposed? Oh my gosh, you're right. That is so fantastic.
Well, it's about time you showed some enthusiasm over 20 years. I'm going back to my show before you hit me. Hi.
Beat me up later. I got a show to do.
Hey,
So much go on.
We are up. We are up to our next.
We're back. Due to technical difficulties, we were shut off there for a half a second because somebody didn't know how to operate their fucking board. Alrighty then.
We are up to Mr. Burke Davis's second pick.
Number 2
Is
it is Taxi.
God, yes.
You wanted that one too, didn't you?
Oh God, yes. I love this show.
My God.
It is so arrogant and so crass. You could not put this show up on television right now.
Probably not. I mean, it's probably like All in the Family. You just could not put that shit on television anymore.
Nope.
And once again, another great ensemble cast. Yeah. And Christopher
Danny
Lloyd.
DeVito, Judd Hirsch, who's the guy from Who's the Boss?
Tony Danza.
Tony Danza, Kanicki,
Jack Conway.
from
Grease.
From Grease.
Yep. Mary Lou Henner.
Who is Latka?
Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, okay,
But you could do a whole show on just him.
Jesus Christ, we really should, because he kind of disappeared from the world.
The dude was so far out there. I mean, his comedy was like, it was a bit ethereal, it was a bit heady and everything. I mean, you know, they did a whole movie on him. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. But Christopher
Mary
Lloyd,
Lou Henner was one of my favorites.
oh God, and that's right. Carol Kane played his wife.
Yes.
I forgot all about that. Oh God.
The show's premise was based on a taxi shack in New York City. And Danny DeVito was basically the manager of the place. And probably my favorite episode was when they took his manager position away. Yeah, dude, you have to find this episode. It's freaking hilarious. He gets basically fired from his position, and the entire shack goes nuts, and he becomes like, I'm sorry, I love you guys, and then he gets his job at the end, and he's the dickhead all over. I loved that episode.
We got Andy Kaufman's character of Latka turned into Vic Ferrari for a while. He was such a total douchebag, but what a great character.
The thing is that Andy Kaufman literally just stopped, and he fell off the world.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
he went into wrestling. Like he was wrestling female wrestlers for a living after the show, which was such a bizarre. Yeah, and sometimes he would win, and sometimes he wouldn't. But yeah, he was just so far out there in his humor and view of the world. And yeah, Jim Carrey did Man on the Moon. Was that the movie?
Yes, that was the movie that was based on
Andy Kaufman's life.
On Andy Kaufman's life, and it was. I mean, literally, one day he just stopped, and he was like, "I'm done."
You remember his bit on Saturday Night Live?
Yeah, that was awesomely weird
and hilarious. and him doing Elvis was phenomenal, because I think he did that on the show Taxi, but he did that somewhere. That was great.
It was a weird cast, But how long did that show run?
I did not write that down, but give me just a moment here and I will find out. 1978 to 1983.
I knew it was a long run.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a long run. Judd Hirsch basically ran that show.
He was kind of the Mr. Cotter of the group almost.
Yeah. Oh, God, there was another TV
I know,
show.
right?
Okay, do you have anything else for this?
Well, I would just like to mention my favorite bits from that show were Christopher Lloyd.
Oh God, yes, his cameos.
No, he was on there for like 4 seasons. Like he was a main character.
But
Reverend Jim Ignatowski.
oh my God. Oh, he was freaking incredible.
There was a bit where like they thought these brownies may be laced with pot, and so they gave them to Jim to test, and he's like nibbling, and he's like, yeah, I believe this was California Sinsemilla, and he takes another nibble, probably the South Slope from the Napa Valley, and he's just like the connoisseur of drugs. Dude, you remember him trying to get his driver's license?
Yes, that was one of the best episodes.
The director specifically told him to keep going as long as the audience is laughing. Just keep going. I'm not even. Go watch it. Just you look at the YouTube clip of Jim Ignatowski getting his driver's license. It's well worth the 7 minutes. Oh my God, so funny. So writer-wise and directors and all that. After the 3rd season, the director James Burrows and writers Glenn Charles and Les Charles quit the series to create Cheers.
Yep.
Also on my list. So that's some quality.
But you know what? It was one of the first times that you see a director and producer change where a show continues.
Oh, they had
to be
solid
good.
actors. Yeah, they had solid actors, and they did kind of let them do their thing when they needed to. But that was a hilarious show. Dear God, I mean, I could have taken Cheers or Taxi and switched them because they were both just phenomenal shows. Taxi's a little bit earlier in my memory base, so that's why it's kind of a little higher at the top of shows because I was watching that before I watched Cheers.
Now, Kanicki,
Yeah, he had some issues.
Kanicki was actually a star on the TV show with Dr. Drew. What was it? I'm an Addict. I can't remember the name of the show.
He had issues on Taxi, like they found him passed out between takes and things like that. So he had some issues even back then.
Yeah, he had some issues. He ended up dying not too long ago. I'm actually still friends with his girlfriend.
2011, he passed away.
At the time of his death, Lizzie, who's I love that woman. She's great. She tried to get him to stop drugs, and
it's tough when somebody's going down that
there's
path.
some people that just can't stop.
Who's
he
also
did
on Babylon
the Dr.
5.
Drew's celebrity rehab. Celebrity rehab, is that what it was called?
Yeah, probably.
I think that's what it was. Anyways, anything else on Taxi?
That's about it. I mean, go watch the scene of Jim trying to get his driver's license.
I can't hear you.
Why not? Hello? Can you hear me now?
Hang on.
Okay.
All right, people, we're going to pause for a second and fix this problem.
All right.
Okay, so is there anything else for Taxi?
That is all that I have for Taxi. Just short and sweet. Great show.
I'm really going to get pissed at this. There we go. Scott's number 2, the greatest American hero.
Oh, God, yes.
I think I fell in love with this show because my father one day walked in while I was watching it and proceeded to, for a half an hour, explain to me how stupid the show was. Which, of course, anyone that knew my father knows that I will 100% go against. So I watched it for the entire 2 years that it ran.
Just despite him.
Just despite him. The show's theme song was sung by Joey Scarberry and released as a single, which peaked as number 2.
Yep.
On the Billboard charts in 1981.
Not a lot of shows had theme songs that did that.
The second reason that I picked this show to watch was William Catt.
William
Catt was actually the actor who played Pippin on the Broadway production of Pippin that was recorded live for television.
Nice. He was also in the original movie of Carrie.
Yes.
He was the date.
Now, he played a guy named Ralph. A guy named Ralph Hinckley in the first year. Ralph's surname was changed near the end of the first year because, or it was changed from Hinckley to Hanley because of the name's negativity and with the connection to John Hinckley Jr., who had just shot Ronald Reagan.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Connie Selica was a horrible reason to watch that show, too.
Let's see here. After the William Catt's real-life mother, Barbara Hale, played his mother in a few episodes.
Nice.
Let's see here.
And Robert Culp, I remember him from I Spy many, many, many years ago.
Oh, Ralph's last name was changed back to Hinckley in the first episode of season 2 in 1981 after the furor over his name subsided. Interestingly enough, the unaired 1986 Greatest American Heroine pilot included a scene in which Ralph Hinckley meets the President of the United States, Ronald Reagan.
Oh, my God. Oh, shit.
And they actually used Ronald Reagan.
Really?
Yes. All right.
A little spillage here.
So we've done our 2s, which means we're coming up to our runner-ups.
Yes.
Are you ready for this?
I'm never ready for this kind of excitement, but we are going to proceed anyway because we owe it to our
Ladies and gentlemen,
tens of fans.
We're going to do Burke's runners up first. Then we'll do mine. And then we'll get to the nasty stuff.
There you go. Okay. So, from bottom to top, the Carol Burnett Show.
Hold on. I don't think I have it that way.
Well, you're not showing the screen anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh, hang on.
Drunken technical difficulties.
Let's see here. That one.
Screen shares, earphones. Can't get that shit right. Okay. All right, so that was Okay.
All right, so let's
I'll do it in this order. That's
We're
fine.
Gonna go with Burke's runner-ups.
All righty. Hill Street Blues. Another show where the theme song hit the charts and did very well.
Yes.
Fairly gritty. Belker was a great character. Would bite people.
Belker was probably my favorite. He was just snarly and fun.
And once again, can't remember the actor's or actress's name, but the district attorney lady was kind of smoking hot. Anyway. Next one down, Battlestar Galactica, which I mistakenly referenced earlier.
Okay, apparently we're going to have a problem here.
Must be the nut behind the wheel. There you go, Battlestar Galactica. Richard Hatch, Dirk Benedict. Didn't I say Dirk Benedict was going to come back into play here? And there he is right there. And that show was a big reaction to the whole Star Wars thing. They took the first...
That was... okay.
They took the first 2 episodes and actually turned them into a movie and released them in theaters with Sensurround. So like all the explosions and stuff like rumbled the whole theater and everything. It was a little hokey, but it was kind of cool. Richard Dykstra did special effects. I believe he also worked on Star Wars at one point in time and a number of other things. And just a fun, kind of cool show to watch. The first couple years are pretty damn good. All right.
Okay.
Next.
Okay. Before you move on.
Okay.
We have to talk here. The spaceship that they used, their fighter ship, was called the Viper.
Colonial Vipers. Yes.
And the other one, the ones that they were up against,
the
Cylons.
Yes.
Battlestar Galactica was one of the best star-based shows besides Star Trek. And give it a lot of props. It came out right after Star Wars. You had Lauren Green as your commander of your
Adama.
ship.
Yep.
It was a brilliant show. It was perfect for that time of the year, that time of the lifespan of America. It promoted going out and exploring. And it was still based on good versus bad.
Yeah. No, it was just a great show. You know, it's like you can pick it up on some streaming service. You know, it's nice light entertainment at this point, and it still kind of holds up today.
Yeah. All right. Next.
Barney Miller. Once again, another great ensemble cast. Subtle humor. Fish was great. Abe Vigoda. What a great character.
What a great guy.
Oh my God. And once again, that was another show that like a lot, like Rita Moreno showed up on that show, and just a lot of big name people. Hold on. The first lady from Night Court, the old lady, she showed up on a couple episodes of Barney Miller too. But yeah, just another good writing and just, and it all took place in one room. How many shows can you watch nowadays where there is only one set? And you know any
None.
TV shows today that
None.
take place in one room only?
None.
Yeah. It's just, good solid writing and just good time. All right, next one. $6 Million Man.
Oh, Lee Majors again.
Hell yeah. Yeah. And that was a show I watched when I was young.
And ladies and gentlemen, this was the time that he was married to Farrah Fawcett.
Who showed up in a couple of episodes, if I recall.
Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, doing research for this entire thing, I probably spent 4 hours researching Farrah Fawcett.
A half hour was looking up stuff on the internet, and the other one was putting the mouse in your left hand.
I love Farrah Fawcett.
All right, next one. Dukes of Hazzard. How can you not love? And there's another theme song that hit the charts and did fairly
Yes,
well.
you good old boy.
Coined the phrase Daisy Dukes.
Yes.
Daisy Dukes were not a thing until that show came out. God, how many cars did they go through? 30, 40?
They said that it was like something like 55 cars
Jesus
that they
Christ.
destroyed.
Yep.
And sadly, those are nice cars.
Yeah, those are nice cars. Absolutely. Which is kind of why there's so much freaking money now. I mean, that show probably killed off a quarter of the inventory of, it was bad. All right.
Yeah,
one.
it was bad.
Wonder Woman.
No.
No?
No.
You have issues with Wonder Woman?
No.
Linda Carter?
The only part of Wonder Woman that I think would deserve to make it is the fact that her blouse kept falling off as she would do stunts. But we as Americans are never going to see that.
Linda Carter was a big part of my growing up. So, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. All right, next one.
Fascination.
Mork and Mindy. At the height of his cocaine fueled.
First off, you got Pam Dauber, who is
She's cute. She was real cute.
fucking
Girl Next Door.
incredible. She's married to Mark Harmon. Even in the last season of NCIS, when she came on to do the last couple of shows, I was like, I'm still in love with Pam Dauber.
And Jonathan
Robin-
Winters. Now, granted, that last season of Mork and
Jonathan
Mindy,
Winters.
he was on the last season of Mork and Mindy as Mork and
Oh,
Mindy's
he was the
kid.
Yes. Okay.
Dude, they could not film. Like, their filming time took twice as long because those two would just start riffing, going off on tangents, and the entire cast was laughing so hard they could not get any work done.
Mark was played by Robin Williams, who I swear to God, this was his heyday.
Oh,
This
yeah.
was
Peak of his comedic.
yeah. I think he did a better job on Mork and Mindy than he did on Mrs.
Doubtfire.
Doubtfire. Robin Williams is kind of an idol to me. I don't like the way that he went out. I understand the way that he went out. When you're diagnosed with something like Parkinson's,
And you've got I got real issue with people taking their lives, but when you've got, other than the Parkinson's, when you have other brain imbalances that you're just not thinking straight, and you need to be on meds and you're not, I kind of get it. I felt bad, and I felt bad that I felt bad about the way he died, but then I kind of got over it. But yeah, he was, and I actually love him in what was the one where he was in the afterlife? This more serious film, seeing his daughter and everything in the afterlife, and even the Bicentennial Man, which is one of my favorite books. He was playing more of a straight man, but he was playing drama, and I really enjoyed those performances from him.
I know that we talked earlier about the fact that I wanted to do the 2021 list of people that have died. And one of the things that was stopping me was the fact that on the list that I was looking at that point in time was people that had died from drug overdoses or things like that. And I don't want to promote that. I feel sorry for anyone that died from that, but that's a death of your own decision. And I just can't.
There can be mitigating circumstances. Like, I kind of feel the way you feel about people commit suicide too. I feel it's incredibly selfish, but at the same time, there may be circumstances I don't understand or I didn't know about or whatever that it kind of changes the whole color of that thing. So anyway,
the whole thing with Robin Williams is that here's a person that was diagnosed with a disease. It's a disease that's going to kill him.
Oh.
I just, I kind of see that in a different light than somebody that killed themselves by a drug overdose. And that's really why I held back on doing the death things in 2021. You can be pissed off at me. I don't care.
And then last one, Carol Burnett Show.
Probably the best show from the 60s and 70s.
There's so many great things. And there was another show where the directors would kind of like Tim Conway. They would let him go off and improvise and did not tell the other cast members what he was going to say. They would rehearse it one way, and then Tim on the official take would go in a completely different direction. And Harvey Korman, oh God, I love Harvey Korman. That poor guy trying to keep a straight face may be funnier than the comedy going on. And then he also got, and forgive me, I don't know his name, the young male actor on there who also played in Wonder Woman. So he was also good. But they had a lot of great people come on that show. Bernadette Peters would show up and do stuff. And
it was a good show. It was good variety show.
Oh yeah, very wholesome. I mean, it was definitely a '60s, early '70s kind of thing. But it was when I was young. It was like there was something I was allowed to watch, and it was funny as all get out. And you had Mama's, the spinoff shows from that.
Yeah,
just good stuff. Okay, good choice.
Scott's runner-up positions starts with Star Trek Next Generations.
You see, I actually watched this when I was in my 20s, so I didn't go with that as my growing up kind of stuff. But
God, I watched it from it starting out.
Oh, okay. I was another show that I never got into initially and picked up later on in reruns. So
This is Star Trek: The Next Generation,
and
starring
possibly one of my all-time favorite shows of all time. So I'll take Kirk over Picard, or Picard over Kirk any day. Sorry.
I was gonna say I'll take Picard.
Yeah, take Picard any day.
I love Kirk, but Picard actually made the role.
Oh yeah, he was initially a little like pissy with the crew because like he's a classically trained Shakespearean actor, and these guys were a bunch of goof-offs. But eventually, he loosened up, and they all had a really great time.
Now, my only negative with this show comes with the movies. And the fact that they always have to release the saucer.
Yeah, they always had to kill the Enterprise off, and yeah,
Yep.
yeah. The movies were just big, long episodes.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Next one.
Yep.
Mayberry RFD and the Andy Griffith Show.
Wow. And I watched an awful lot of that also.
It was the Andy Griffith Show until I can't remember when they changed it.
When it turned to color, maybe.
I think it was. But when it went to Mayberry RFD, we had Goober.
I don't remember him.
You don't remember Goober?
I don't think I ever watched Mayberry RFD. I watched the Andy Griffin Show an awful lot. Jim Neighbors.
Goober ran the tow truck and the garage.
Okay.
Still had Jim Neighbors. Still had Don Knotts. Still had really Mayberry RFD. Oh shit! Sorry. Mayberry RFD was basically just an extension of Andy Griffith's show.
Ron Howard's first break.
Yes. Moving on to the next one, Battlestar Galactica. We've already talked about this.
In detail, yeah.
Next was the
fuck.
match game.
I didn't realize that those were on the table. Shit. That could...
Well, it was a TV show.
I guess I didn't think about it.
But the match game was freaking hilarious because it was no holds barred in the 70s when you could say anything that you wanted to. And there was so much innuendo put into the show. It was funny.
Oh, God,
it was fun to watch. It was a half an hour of, let's see, nowadays you'd call it Wheel of Fortune.
Who was the host, man? He had the worst suits.
Gene, okay, I keep saying Gene Roddenberry.
Yeah, that's not that. No, Gene Roddenberry was Star Trek. Gene Rayburn.
Gene Rayburn. That was it.
Is that him?
Yes.
His hair was horrible. His suits were horrible.
Oh God! And he had that microphone. He had that long ass microphone, like
it was like 3 foot long with a little puffball at the end.
Who was it? The Price is Right guy. He had the same microphone.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. For a long time, yeah.
Yeah. Soap.
Now that on your runner-up, huh?
Soap is on my runner-up. Great show. More than a great show. Actually, the lead-off to a couple of other shows.
Benson
was probably my favorite after Soap. It's silly comedy. It's freaking WKRP, but with politics. It's great 1970s humor.
And what's your next one? Silver Spoons. It was a show I never watched.
God.
There it is. Airwolf. Hell yeah.
Airwolf makes it to my runner-up. I wanted to put it into the top 10, but because it was a spin-off from Knight Rider, I couldn't do it.
I did not know that. I had no clue that was a spin. I mean, I kind of knew that the producers and everything were the same, but I did not know it was an actual spin-off.
Yes, it was a spin-off from Knight Rider. And if you look at Knight Rider and Airwolf, you will see that the premise is exactly the same.
Pretty much. I mean, the helicopter did not talk, but yeah. But that was just a badass show. Good theme song, too. Jesus Christ.
Loved it.
MacGyver.
My last one is MacGyver.
Yeah.
And I think MacGyver probably should have made it higher. Yeah.
Yeah, that was, yeah. I mean, now granted, when you got into the science and everything, it didn't quite add up. But yeah, that was just good TV. He was just a really wholesome dude.
The thing about
in an unwholesome world, trying to make the world better.
The thing about MacGyver not making it higher is the fact that it got so stupid at the end.
Yeah. You can only use bubble gum and twine so many times to make an atomic bomb,
Yeah. And at some point in time, you gotta kill someone. If you're a secret agent. All right. We are up to the number ones. We are going to Burke's number one, which I do believe was on my list of runner-ups.
Yes, it was. And it was Soap.
How do you make this number one?
It had some of the television moments that made me laugh the hardest in my life. And there was a lot of stupid stuff going on, but once again, another ensemble cast that was just phenomenal. God, when you had Chuck and Bob on there, they did an act where the dummy was blindfolded and Chuck would hold up something in front of the blindfolded dummy, and the blindfolded dummy, through telekinesis or whatever, was trying to figure out what it was. And Bert and Danny are there. And finally Bert catches on to the fact that it's a dummy and it's blindfolded. But Danny is like, yeah, it's like, well, Chuck can see what it is. Yeah, but Bob can't. He's blindfolded. Just laughing so hard at that shit. As a matter of fact, very early in production, they had problems recording Chuck and Bob because the performance was so convincing that the sound man was actually pointing the microphone at the dummy to pick him up, and they were missing the dialogue that the actual actor was doing. That's how good that was. So yeah. And he had Benson as a runoff. It was such a great parody of all the soap operas, and they wanted to call it something else at some point. Soap was just the running title of the whole thing originally. It was not supposed to be called Soap. That was just what they called it, and it just kind of stuck.
There were characters off of Soap, like you mentioned Benson.
Yeah, Robert Guillaume. Yep.
Who was the old lady?
Which one? Catherine Hellman or
the redhead?
Catherine Hellman, I believe. Joanna to do Brazil.
Yes.
Good film. Oh my god.
Just fantastic cast. The acting was incredible. Robert Guillaume is probably one of my favorite actors from the 80s. He was on several different shows, and he could play several different characters.
Oh, yeah.
But yet, every time he played the character, he had attitude.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, oh my God, I mean, they really kind of like head on and not head on did the whole black thing. I mean, because like in the first couple episodes, the grandfather who was the colonel was calling him boy, and he would just give him these looks like you call me that one more time, I'm gonna kick your ass kind of look, and everything. But he was just kind of like backing off everything. Oh my God. Robert Guillaume taking the dummy and chucking him out the window was fucking great. I remember stuffing Jody stuffed the dummy in the refrigerator, and Chuck is losing his mind because he can't find Bob anywhere. He's turning like grapefruit and shit on the table into fucking dummies because he's losing his mind. That was brilliant. And then you got to remember, Billy Crystal got his start on that show.
Yes.
And Billy Crystal went on to do a lot of stuff. Judas Priest.
When Harry Met Sally.
Oh, my God.
I mean, okay. Anyways.
And Diana Canova, she was kind of smoking back in the day, man.
All right. So was that your last?
That is my number one. Oh, just if you want to watch a couple YouTube clips, look up the dummy being blindfolded, of course. And then Billy Crystal talking to his mom he was talking to Katherine Hellman's character. And Katherine Hellman says something to the effect of, when I was young, there weren't any homosexuals. And Billy Crystal's character is like, there's always been gay people throughout history. She's like, oh, come on, like who? And he said, well, Aristotle was gay, Plato was gay. And Katherine Hellman just stares off for the moment, and she goes, Mickey Mouse's dog was gay? Or like somebody else talks for a second, and she looks back at him, and he goes, yeah, and Goofy was his lover. It's just and for the time, you didn't have gay people on TV hardly ever. I think Hot L Baltimore, I think, was maybe the first primetime TV show to have a gay couple. And that show didn't last but one season, and it was gone. But yeah, kind of the first big kind of gay character on a main show and everything like that. And oh God, that show just went off the rails, but it was so good. Anyway, that's it. That's all I got.
All right, we're going on to Scott's number one.
And it is
Burke. What do you think Scott's number one is?
Burke's Law.
No. Sorry.
Oh, God. I had forgotten about that show.
Scott's number one was on television from 1965 to 1971. Oh, I know. Everyone's going to sit back and go, you know what? You weren't even alive. Well, yeah,
but it was all reruns. I mean, half the shows we watched were reruns back then.
WUAB TV 43 played reruns in syndication for this show all the way into the 2000s. This show starred Robert Clary, Werner Klemper, and Bob Crane. Welcome to Hogan's Heroes. This is my number one show. And
I will admit, I watched that show a lot.
I will not say that in 1985 this was my best show. But after I did research on this show, it became my number one show. First off, Robert Clary.
It's Colonel Klink?
No, Robert Clary is this gentleman right
LeBeau.
here. LeBeau. LeBeau was actually a Holocaust survivor.
Oh shit! He did that show.
And he did this show. Whoa, what the fuck?
Whoa. The nut behind the wheel strikes again.
Whoa, hang on here. Let's do this again. There we go. Werner Klemper, Howard Kane.
Wasn't Werner Klemper a classically trained actor?
Werner Klemper played Klink.
Yes.
He was a classically trained pianist. His father was famous for it. His father was Otto Klemper.
Oh, okay.
Howard Kane, Werner Klemper, Howard Kane, Leon Askins, and John Banner all played Germans.
Okay.
Let me see here. Werner Klemper, Howard Kane, Leon Askins, John
General
Banner,
Bullhalter, yeah.
who portrayed the chief Germans, Klink, Hochstetter, Burkhalter, and Schultz, were all Jewish.
That's awesome.
All of them also served in the U.S. Armed Forces during World War II.
Oh, shit.
Klemperer was born in Cologne, Germany, and Banner and Askins were both born in Vienna, Austria.
Austria.
Sorry. And the three of them immigrated to the United States after fleeing the Nazi regime.
Holy shit.
Werner Klemperer only agreed to play Colonel Klink once he was assured by the show's creators that Klink would never succeed in his schemes. I don't think people nowadays can relate to this. But, you know, you've got a guy like Werner Klemper who's Jewish, who's playing a Nazi.
He remembers that stuff. Yeah, I mean, you live through it.
I mean, LeBeau was interned.
Now,
anyways,
have you ever seen the movie that was based off of Stalag 13?
Yes.
Fucking dark. Like,
yes.
I to this day, I still can't comprehend how fucking Hollywood said, let's take this movie and make it a comedy. But
it was like Stalag 17 or something like that.
Yeah, it was brutal. It was bad.
I literally watched it because I thought that it would be comedic. Like, and there's definitely funny parts in it, but in the end, they all get caught. And yeah, well,
yeah, it's ugly.
Anyways, I have a lot of trivia to get through here because this movie was kind of important, or the show was kind of important to me.
Hopefully, nothing about Bob Crane.
The leather jacket that Bob Crane wore on this show was originally worn by Frank Sinatra in Von Ryan's Express.
Oh, wow.
Vito Scotti, who played Major Bonicelli in an episode, played the train engineer in Von Ryan's Express in the same jacket.
No shit.
The same jacket was also worn by Greg Kinnear in the 22 film Bob Crane's biography.
Oh, wow.
The character of Sergeant Schultz, prior to the war, had been the president. Okay, so this is backstory here. This is backstory of the characters. What do you think Sergeant Schultz did as a living before becoming a guard?
The backstory?
Yes.
Got to be food related. Baker, perhaps?
No. He was the president of a successful toy company.
Oh, okay.
Colonel Klink, post-war, tried to become a bookkeeper at the toy company.
Under him.
And the last piece of history that I have to talk about is people will never notice this, but if you watch Hogan's Heroes, you will notice that the secretary's name changes from Helga to Hilda.
Yeah. That's two different actresses, right?
And why did this happen?
I give up. Why did that happen?
Cynthia Lynn, who played Colonel Klink's secretary, Helga, in the first season, was replaced by Sigrid Valdez, who played Hilda, at the insistence of Bob Crane after Valdez began dating him and they got married.
And that set was yards away from the lagoon that was the SS Minnow. What was it? Gilligan's Island. That whole back lot was like literally right next door to each other.
Yes. They were all next door to each other. There was another Gomer Pyle. Gomer Pyle set was in the same place. This was all on the back lot.
Yeah, Burbank Studios and
yes, CBS Studios. This was all on the back lot. It was all torn down, sadly.
and there's like a strip mall or something on the site now. Yeah, it's kind of sad.
Well, it's actually houses. There's a whole bunch of shit there now.
You know, I'm surprised Wild West didn't make our list anywhere. I actually forgot about it until just now.
I was torn on that.
Black Sheep Squadron.
If you actually, I started a folder that I'm sharing with you, and I don't know if I put it in there yet, but I actually recorded the first 6 episodes of Baba Black Sheep.
A good show.
Yeah. Now there's some movies in there that we're gonna review. They're oldies, but people will like them. Like Murder by Death.
Oh God, I love that film. We referenced that. Oh God, Craig and I referenced that movie in a script writing class one time. The Moosehead on Wall talk. The Moosehead, use your goddamn articles. Oh God, what a great film.
What else did I record? Okay, so we've got some movies to review.
Okay,
because
fair enough.
I have thrown into that Dropbox or whatever we're sharing the Cannonball Run.
Oh God, yeah.
Murder by Death.
Yep.
Lone Wolf McQuade.
I don't know that I've seen that all the way through in 20 or 30 years.
It's gonna be a great couple of years. Holy shit, we're gonna do movie reviews basically every other week.
Okay.
But they're not gonna be new movies. Well, I don't want to say that. I know that they're working on a new Guardians of Galaxies.
Yep. New Thor's coming out sometime soon here.
New Thor. I see a bunch of movies for you and I to have a good time with. But if you can't tell by my eyes right now, I am fucked up and drunk. So at this point in time, I think we need to say goodbye. We've said our top tens. We've enjoyed it. You're wearing a University of Toledo shirt.
It's very comfortable, and my daughter bought it for me for Christmas, and yeah, totally dig it, man.
Okay. On that note, I'm going to get the fuck out of here.
You have a great night, everyone. You have a great week, and we will talk to you soon.
Have fun, guys.